If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
All right, so one thing I found really interesting over this past week is the Jim Thome trade. I think you look at it at first glance, and it doesn't really make sense. Jim Thome is, in his 40s. His prime was, 5-6 years ago in Cleveland. But the more I think about the move, it makes a lot of sense. Right now, Jim Thome can be the full-time DH, and that allows Chris Davis to play right field, and then when Nick Markakis comes, play left field. And that's so important because as the Orioles have started to struggle here into early July and in June as well, it's because that left field spot is getting no production whatsoever. I mean, Xavier Avery, Flaherty, whoever, it's just it's a black hole right now for the Orioles in their lineup. So for Chris Davis to enter, and bring some power, able to drive in some runs, is very, very important. Also, I think from just a philosophical standpoint, it makes a lot of sense for the Orioles. I wouldn't have been a fan for the Orioles to go and make a big splashy move, sign Zach Greinke, or trade for Zach Greinke rather, trade for Brandon McCarthy. I mean, two excellent pitchers, yes, and I know our rotation's struggling, but I don't think a going for broke move, throwing all your cards on the table, if you will, is the right move for this Orioles team right now. I mean, they're so young. The young guys are only going to get better. Markakis, Adam Jones, Matt Wieters, they're all in their mid-20s. I mean, they say in baseball that a player's prime is 26 to 28 years old. So all those players are just on the cusp of breaking in or hitting their stride rather. So, I think that it's good for the Orioles to make more conservative moves, keep the core intact, because, even a Zach Greinke or such a splashy move, maybe that doesn't even take you over the top. So now you're mortgaging your future and almost you're starting all over, because Greinke, think about it, he's not going to sign with the Orioles if he was traded here following the season. So I say, let's build for the long term. Whatever happens, happens. Jim Thome is a quality asset, and I think it's a really good move. Let's not forget, although he's very old, an interleague play. I know he can't field anymore, but an interleague play. He hit .330, I believe, and an on-base percentage that was ridiculous. So I think Jim Thome still has a lot in the tank, maybe at the designated hitter spot, as long as he's not in the field. And for the Orioles, hopefully, I think that maybe they make another conservative move to fix the rotation. I mean, you look at it right now, Jason Hamill is very solid. Chen's been good as well, but after that, they have a lot of problems. Arrieta, Mattis, the list goes on. So if they can make a move similar to Jim Thome, I know Joe Blanton could be available, make another trade with Ruben Amaro and the Philadelphia Phillies to get a guy, he's not Roy Halladay or Cliff Lee, but his ERA is, in the low 4s, but for this Orioles rotation, that'd be terrific, considering Arrieta and Mattis, their ERAs are close to 6. So, I think there's a lot of moves to be made for the Orioles, but nothing too drastic. One example I look at and kind of how to conduct business at the deadline is the Pittsburgh Pirates last year. I mean, they got off to an incredible start. They haven't had a winning season in 19 years. This is dating back to last year. And right out of the gate, they're tremendous. Neil Huntington at the deadline doesn't go and get someone big, gets Derek Lee, gets Ryan Ludwig. Yes, they didn't produce, and ultimately, they start to dwindle down the stretch. But still, the Pirates are back this year, that core's still intact, and they look better than ever. I mean, you look at the last 20 years, the Pirates right now, their record, it's phenomenal compared to what they've done over the past 2 decades. And so I think, I just would urge caution and patience for Dan Duquette and this Orioles team. I mean, you look at all the projections at the beginning of the year, people were talking about, 60 to 75 wins, 80 best case scenario, like ideal scenario. So for the Orioles right now, if the season ended today, would be in the second wild card spot. And I think, just got to keep grinding, nothing too big. And just try to stay alive in what has been, a very interesting season, and hopefully one that, continues to go well for this Orioles team. Just another note in the NBA, headlines were made as Steve Nash was traded from the Phoenix Suns to the Los Angeles Lakers. Just a very interesting trade, as people are now saying that suddenly the Lakers are the team to beat in the West. And look, Steve Nash is a tremendous addition, but let's not forget, he's not going to help guarding Russell Westbrook, Tony Parker, Chris Paul, a lot of the elite point guards throughout the NBA. So yes, offensively, the Lakers would become a much more efficient ball club. Pau Gasol, Andrew Bynum should be a lot better. And Kobe Bryant, this will prolong his career for sure, as Steve Nash will take a huge role in the offense, and he'll be able to set a lot of it up. But you just have to be worried, as the Thunder and the Spurs were the two premier teams throughout the year, and the Lakers haven't got anyone really to guard them still. Steve Blake is their backup point guard, but I don't really think he's a viable option defensively for the Los Angeles Lakers.
You're Daniel Radov.
I am.
And this is?
WNST.
There you go. All right, good job, good job, good job.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.